Hi, John.
Hi.
I'm Pooja.
Hi, Pooja. Nice
Hi.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And we have John, who is the chairman of the International Chamber of Commerce. And we would love to understand, John, from you, since you're in India, and India looks like the next startup hub, so to say. Where do you see startups in sort of growing in the next 5 years, and how do you see India collaborating with some of the other nations?
Well, I think the reality is we're seeing exponential technological change, and the speed and the rate of change is just going so quickly that a lot of established companies are troubled and challenged to try and participate effectively. What we're finding is that startups, entities which are not limited by or inhibited by the past, are actually great engines of growth for this period of time. And what they'll do is they'll help a lot of those companies transform as well. And obviously in India, there's the opportunity to jump over technological barriers that may have existed in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and actually say that was all there, but hey, we're now the new set of business models, let's jump ahead. So we're finding that there's a lot of opportunity for tech startups, for broader e-commerce startups, for broader AI startups to really drive economic growth, because they're not bound by the past, but they're open to the future. And India, frankly, is a source of that, a source of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, while all of this is going on, there's a lot of buzz around cryptocurrency and blockchain. How do you see that sort of penetrating the market? And there was sort of a hype around at a certain time, and then it sort of came down. So we're seeing peaks, but what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I do see that the crypto markets are actually turned up a little bit in the last little while, so that's interesting. Look, the big challenge for crypto in any of its form actually goes to the integrity of the market, and I think we've seen that. There's been a lack of transparency in the markets, which gave rise to a lot of the volatility. You're seeing now established institutions like central banks start getting interested in digital currency, so you're seeing a level of stability come into the market. I do think for effective functioning markets in these areas, you need to have transparency and integrity, and that's something that we want to see. We see there's a lot of discussion now at the G20 to enable that. We see macroprudential regulators getting interested in that. And some people will say, oh my God, that's going to slow us down. But I actually think here you'll go as fast as the speed of trust here. If you don't build trust, it's going to be much harder. And trust will come with integrity. And the ICC has been working on this to put integrity into those markets.
Great. Do you think someday crypto will replace currency and it will sort of equalize borders?
Well, I think the world is full of bold pronouncements like, yes, this is going to happen, definitely, and then you discover something else happens along the way. I prefer to say that I think that there's going to be a constant evolution in the way in which we deal with currency. I don't know what the winner will be, and the winner may only be a winner for a minute because it may be replaced by something else. That's just the nature and the speed of change.
Sure, absolutely. And if you were to give us one input to the startups who are in the ideating phase, like it's buzzing, we're having thousands of startups come up in India at least every year. So if you were to tell what are some of the key world problems that are like red hot that need to be solved, that startups should pick up and find solutions to, what industries would those be, or what problems would those be?
Oh, very easy for me. It's going to be around the energy transition, because that's a critical issue for us. It's actually going to be around the health, because we need to ensure that we're much more able to deal with potential of cross-border contagion. And frankly, an issue which is really at the heart of a lot of potential global problems is food security. So actually working on those three areas is very important for us.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. That's great to know. Thank you so much, John.
Thanks
Very
for your
nice
time.
talking to you.
Very nice to meet you.